Hello and welcome to a totally new era because I now have a baby and I am going to kind of dive into more mom, postpartum, birth, home life topics and videos now that I can kind of expand my range here from my traditional like packing, travel type of stuff. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Morgan. I currently live in California with our first baby. So I have a son, he's a few months old, and I'm really excited to just expand into motherhood and learning all the ins and outs. We certainly don't really know what we're doing yet, but I have more experience now than I did a few months ago. So I'm learning as I go. But today, I wanted to kind of talk about postpartum essentials and things that I had or wish I had when I was freshly postpartum just a few months ago, because I loved watching these videos when I was getting ready to have a baby. And so hopefully this can be of help to you if you're expecting or if you're currently in the postpartum season. I feel like it could still be helpful. So a little background. I had a planned home birth, so that went great. I'm really thankful that I had that experience. I definitely would do it again, will do it again. Great experience there. Loved the care that I got from my birth team, and just feel like I was really well cared for during my whole prenatal, during birth, and then postpartum. However, I did have to transfer after I gave birth to the hospital due to a tear. So I had to get a tear repair at the hospital because it was beyond the scope of care that my midwife could do. So I kind of have a unique experience of having my home birth, but then I also have a little bit of hospital experience too, because we did have to spend one night in the hospital after we gave birth, just because of my care that I needed. So I can speak to a little bit of both, but essentially I just wanted to go over some postpartum things, products, and kind of show you what I use that I thought was really helpful. Some of it, you probably know from like just looking up on Pinterest or watching other videos, so I can echo some of those points, but then some of it is also maybe a little different or new from what you might have heard before, just from my experience. I feel like these things were really helpful. So I kind of divided it into 3 categories. I feel like the categories all kind of mesh together because postpartum is kind of just a very unique time anyways, but the 3 categories that I was gonna break it up are bathroom care, wellness, and then extras. So I kind of wanted to have a little bit of division there so you could help organize yourself if you're like thinking of what you need to cross off your list. So I'm just gonna kick it off. Some products I have here in front of me, others you can just like look them up, or they're not specifically like a product that you have to use. You can use a variety of whatever you find at the store, whatever kind you prefer, but I'll just go through them and you can see what you think you could add to your postpartum kit. So bathroom care, the first kind of topic or area that I want to talk about. Really, I mean, that's kind of the biggest. When people think of postpartum, I think they think of this as like, this is postpartum, but of course it's a lot more than this, but this is definitely one that I feel like most people talk about. So I definitely recommend, just like a lot of people, the Freedom Mom Postpartum Recovery Kit. I think it's what it's called. So it has like all the different items included in one little kit. And I put that on my registry, and I'm very glad I did, because that was definitely a heavily used kit that I had in the bathroom. So after I gave birth, and besides the hospital experience, I didn't bring anything to the hospital because it was kind of unexpected that I had to go. So I didn't have any of that in the hospital with me, and I got by just fine. However, maybe you decide to take these products to the hospital if you prefer to use the Frida ones instead of the ones that they provide at the hospital. So when I was in the hospital, I just used what they had and it was totally fine. They kind of have essentially like very similar products to the Frida kit at the hospital. But once I got home and I had my stuff, I was like very happy that I did. So I think in there, my top used things were the boy short, like disposable underwear, their ice pads or like the chill pads that you just like snap and they turn into like an ice pack. I use this foam a lot, which is the witch hazel foam that you can like spritz on to the pad when you're kind of making your little diaper thing that you wear. So I pretty much used all the products in there, but definitely my most used and that I bought more of were the boy short disposable underwear. I definitely preferred those to the mesh things that they give you in the hospital. I know a lot of people like the adult diapers, but I did not have those. Maybe I would have liked those, but I kind of liked having the opportunity to like switch out the pads throughout the day in the boy shorts rather than like getting a whole new diaper on. So definitely recommend the Frida kit and every product in there and just keeping it in your bathroom at home so it's readily available for you to use. Besides that, for bathroom care, I also, my midwife had me buy witch hazel, which looks like this. This is from Target. It's very cheap. So she had me buy this for my postpartum kit, and what they recommend to do is in your peri bottle, which they give you at the hospital, you can buy them online, or Frida also has one in their kit as well. So I would just like take this, you can hear our napping son here. I would take the peri bottle, spray a little bit of this witch hazel into it, and then dilute it with a lot of water just from the tap. Warm water is ideal, but just cold tap water is fine. So it would be like 1 part witch hazel with like mostly water in it. So it's just diluted a lot. And then you would use that to spritz when you would go to the bathroom. And it's just a good like cleansing agent. It's an anti-stringent. It's just helping with the healing of everything down there. And that is the main ingredient in a lot of these Frida products anyways, is witch hazel. So just another way to kind of be clean and fresh and help with the healing is just putting a little bit of the witch hazel into the peri bottle. So I loved that. This is actually my second one that I got that I didn't end up going through, but I went through a whole bottle of that in the beginning. And then I actually have been gifting that to my friends in baby shower gifts, is like a bottle of witch hazel, because I just think it's kind of an underutilized product that you can add to your postpartum kit. All right. Another thing is in your bathroom, when you have all your like little cart or your basket or whatever you have with all your products, I feel like no one really talks about this, but I put a bigger trash can in our bathroom for the first several weeks postpartum. I had no idea how much, unfortunately, like trash you accumulate when you have to do all this regimen in the bathroom after you give birth. So you're having like a ton of disposables. So our bathroom trash can is like very small, just like a typical bathroom trash can, but I had my husband actually get like our garage bigger trash can. It was just like an open container trash can, like one of those white plastic ones. And we kept that in the bathroom because we just accumulated a lot of trash in the first few weeks when you're changing out all the pads or the underwear or just all the things would fill up our bathroom trash really quickly. So that was just kind of a simplified hack that we had so we wouldn't have to keep throwing the trash away outside so often, is that we just had a bigger trash can in there, and that was really key. So I recommend if you have like a little bit of a bigger trash can in your house, just using that up, wherever your bathroom is, just so it's easy on you for those first few weeks. After kind of you phase out the first initial bleeding, however long that takes for you, mine was definitely like a few weeks, and you run out of the big pads and you're not wearing the diapers anymore, and like all that is kind of subsided, I definitely still wanted to like have something because of the residual bleeding or like as it tapers off. So I also bought like a pack of these like really thin liners. These are like very, like the thinnest that I've ever seen. And I would just wear one of these and switch it out throughout the day just so I wouldn't like ruin all my underwear if I had like any very light residual bleeding towards the end of kind of the healing process. So would definitely recommend picking up some liners as well. And you'll use them like other times, so I feel like it's definitely not a wasted product. So that is kind of like the bathroom care like category, I guess. I feel like, again, the Frida kit is just the main thing because it has a lot of things in there, but if you weren't gonna get the Frida kit, I would definitely invest in like good, huge like pads or adult diapers or whatever you wanna wear. Some type of witch hazel product. I did use Dermaplast, which I didn't buy initially, but the hospital gave that, so I just took it home and that was really nice. I know that's not the most non-toxic product, but when I was in postpartum, that kind of went out the window because I was just in a lot of pain, and that was definitely a product that helped me. So I did use the Dermaplast, and that is not in the Frida kit. If you like the Tux pads, the Frida kit has basically the same product in a liner form. But if you don't get the Frida kit, I would get some Tux pads and use them in your regimen to line the pad. So there's variations that you can do if you don't want to invest in the Frida kit. So that is kind of the bathroom regimen category that I would say for postpartum. Next is like a wellness category. I didn't really know how to label this one either, but postpartum, you just have so much healing that needs to go on, and it's way more than just having bleeding and things like that. You know, your hormones go through a huge shift, your body's just going through like this major life event that you've never had before if you're a first-time mom. So want to make sure that like overall your wellness is staying really important, and you just take care of your whole body while you're healing. This is very distracting. I'm trying to do it while he's napping. So in the wellness category, I definitely had supplements that I took postpartum. This is not any sort of medical advice or anything, so definitely go with whatever your care provider is telling you, but just from my experience, my midwife told me to keep taking a prenatal or take a postnatal. I, at the end of my pregnancy, switched to this Mary Ruth's organic prenatal and postnatal gummy, which I wish that I had taken my whole pregnancy because I was really not good at taking my prenatal early on in pregnancy when you're so nauseous. And I feel like if I found these, I would have been a lot better earlier on. But I really like these because they're gluten-free and I have celiac, so gluten-free is very important. And they also have methylated folate. I think that's how you say it. So it does not have folic acid. It has, you know, the synthetic version. It has folate. So that's really something that I was looking for in a prenatal or postnatal. And these are just 2 a day and they taste really great. And I have not had any negative side effects or like nausea or anything with these. So I was taking these, I still am because I'm still breastfeeding. So definitely recommend if you are taking a prenatal, they'll probably tell you to continue that as well. But just staying up with all my supplements. I also did not purchase this prior to giving birth, but after my tear and like repair in the hospital, they put me on like a bowel regimen. And so I got the Miralax, and that's like I think it is a laxative that you just mix into your drink every day. So I was taking that. And then they also gave me Colace, which is a stool softener. Not very glamorous, but I'm very glad that I was on those. That's just not something you want to worry about when you are in the thick of like the newborn trenches and postpartum and all that. So staying on top of some type of like bowel regimen, making sure you're hydrated. If you know the hospital or your provider gives you those things, I would definitely stay ahead of it. So that's kind of like supplements or like things that you take, pills, whatever, that kind of thing. That's kind of it for that. Another thing in the wellness category was fun snacks. So before I gave birth, that was something that I was very intentional about, was kind of stocking up on snacks and like making sure that I had a back stock of easily accessible, fun, like enjoyable snacks. So before, you know, I was prepping, I had my little cart set up for inside my bedroom, and one of the tiers on the little 3 cart was like snacks and water. So I bought snacks that I don't typically buy, like, you know, prepackaged things or whatever options you choose, but things that were kind of like fun and new, because that just made eating like more exciting. And I definitely feel like I needed to increase my calories after birth. And so if I had like fun snacks on hand that I was excited to eat, that was really just like helpful and made like a little moment of joy in postpartum, to have like a new thing to try right at your bedside. In addition to snacks, we also prepped a lot of frozen meals. So I went out on maternity leave like, I don't even know, a week and a half or 2 weeks before I gave birth. And one of those days, my mom and I, who lives nearby, thankfully, we just like went to the grocery store and bought like a bulk of ingredients. And I pulled like, I think 8 recipes from Pinterest, and we got those freezer gallon bags, and we just prepped, I think it was like 8 meals that we could freeze. Most of them were just crock pot meals. So it was really easy. We just wrote the instructions on the outside of the bag, put all the ingredients in the bag, and then stored them in my freezer. And that way, during postpartum, while I was healing and resting and not doing anything else other than caring for me and the baby, my husband was able to like take care of meals on his own. So he would pull out a freezer meal the night before, let it thaw in the fridge, and then literally just dump it in the crock pot and cook it. And then we had like a ready-made hot meal for dinner. So most of the recipes made like 4 servings. So we each had like 2 meals out of 1 frozen bag. So that was very helpful. And I know that a lot of people don't have the luxury of like having time off before they give birth, but if you can find just like one day, pull some recipes. I don't know if I can like link the recipes that we did, but we did like a soup, a roast, like chicken fajitas, like very like easy things like that. And we would just prep all the ingredients. That way we had really good meals taken care of after we were home from the hospital and we're just in like a sleep deprivation state. That was so nice to have. And my husband felt really good about just having those in the freezer as back stock if, you know, we didn't have the energy to cook that night. So definitely recommend prepping some freezer meals if you have the ability to do that. All right, the last category that I have is extras. So these are definitely not things that you need, but these were things that I had postpartum that made it just a little bit more enjoyable or easy when you're in the thick of it. So some people have this as like an essential, but I definitely liked it, was buying like new PJs. And if you're breastfeeding, like button up was really key. So before I gave birth, I bought 2 sets of like the short pajamas from Target. They're like in their loungewear area. And I just bought 2 new ones that I saved until after I gave birth. So again, like the snack concept that I was saying, having like a new product that I've never worn before that was like very cute, just made postpartum like a little bit more enjoyable. So having like a cute, soft pair of pajamas was really important, because that's what I wore for like the first 10 days, was just pajamas all day and all night. So having a few extra new sets and looking forward to like changing my outfit was super nice. So if you're able to invest in like a new pajama set, or I even got like one nightgown on Amazon that was button up, and that was really nice too. So I had like 3 new pairs of pajamas essentially that I could rotate out during postpartum. So that was really nice. I know some people on Instagram or, you know, videos that you see, they're like, put on an outfit every day postpartum, like you'll feel better about yourself. And maybe that's the case. But in my case, I was like, I really just want to wear pajamas. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything other than laying in bed and feeding my baby. So that's what I wanted to wear. So PJs. Another thing along similar lines is like a new shower product, or like a new self-care product, I guess. So that was, again, something that I prepped. Was like I got a new shower scrub and a new loofah, and I just put those away until after birth. And then, you know, during those first few showers, like it's so just like draining and like scary, and you just don't know what to expect. And so having like a little special product in the shower made showers a lot more just enjoyable and cute and fun. And so having something to look forward to in the shower, like, you know, a new like loofah, was like so simple, but in the moment I was like so thankful that just I have these like little joyful moments throughout my day that I could look forward to. Hopefully that's not too cheesy, but I feel like when you're in postpartum, you'll understand what I'm saying. Right now it seems kind of dumb to be like, what do you mean buy a new loofah? But just having those new things was really exciting, because I wasn't going anywhere for several days. So it was fun to like pull things out of the cabinet that I hadn't used before and use them. And finally, I would say another little extra thing that was actually very essential for me was just simplifying a skincare routine. So like I said, for the first 10 days, I did not leave the top floor of our house. So I did not go up and down stairs for 10 days. So wearing pajamas, having like a very simplified routine was really key. I did not wear makeup, obviously. I know some people, again, like to wear makeup. Maybe it makes you feel better that day, but it was actually better that I didn't wear makeup, because I just wanted really simple. I just used like one product essentially. So besides like a cleanser, I just had like a moisturizer, and that's all I used. And even that one little product was like enough to make me feel good and feel like I was doing something for myself. So I don't know what that means for you. Like if you have a 10-step skincare, maybe that means cutting it down to 5 or whatever. But yeah, in those first several days, I was just in survival mode, and I feel like making sure that I wasn't overwhelming myself with like unnecessary things was like a great mindset shift for me to have. So you will get back to doing your 10-step skincare, but in those first few weeks, simplifying everything was key. So that means meals, outfits, self-care, like all of that was just like taken care of, because it was very easy and like didn't require a lot of brain power. So yeah, those are my postpartum essentials, but of course everyone is different and everyone requires different things, but those were definitely the things that helped me thrive in my postpartum. I definitely feel like I had a pretty positive postpartum overall. I did not thankfully experience postpartum depression and anxiety, and this is coming from someone who is a very anxious person in general. Somehow postpartum was just a very like calm experience for me. So I really wish that for all of you as well, because I know that postpartum can be very rough mentally for a lot of people. So definitely make sure you're getting the support and encouragement and help that you need. So Thank you for listening to my rambly rant. Hopefully you got some piece of useful advice or useful product. If there's anything to link, I will link it below. If you have anything specific that you're looking for, you can comment and I would love to send you a link or a recommendation. But thanks for watching, and I hope that you have the best postpartum experience ever, and I wish you all the greatest healing and rest in the newborn trenches, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.